If you clicked on this video, you've probably seen the headlines. Highest salaries in the world, low taxes, perfect mountains. And yes, these things are true. But there is a very specific type of person who moves here, hates it, and then leaves within 18 months. And it's usually not because of the prices, it's because of the pace. I have helped many software engineers make this move, whether from Europe, Asia, or America. And I've noticed a pattern. The ones who struggle the most are the ones who treat Switzerland like a relaxed European getaway. Let me be clear, Switzerland is not the place you come to chill out and semi-retire in your 30s. In this video, I'm going to break down the personality types who will thrive in Switzerland and those who will be frustrated and should probably look elsewhere. If you want to know if you can actually handle the pressure behind the paycheck, keep watching. Because moving here for the money is easy, but staying here for the lifestyle, that's the hard part. Is Switzerland actually right for me? Some people will definitely thrive in Switzerland, and where I would definitely say, yes, Switzerland is one of the best countries in the whole world for you to move to, and you should definitely come to Switzerland or really consider it. Those are generally high performers, especially, if your field of specialization, if it actually exists in Switzerland, makes sense. Then long-term planners, people who love to plan things in the long term based on the stability that Switzerland provides and basically the predictability of the whole system, the legal system and everything. If you basically like to optimize for income, for stability, for efficiency, just think of Swiss public transportation. It's very, very efficient. It's among the most reliable and best in the whole world. If you belong to that category, then I think Switzerland is probably one of the best 3, maximum 5 countries in the whole world for you. Key advantages, as you might already know, salaries are really high. Sometimes you can actually make more money in the United States or some other countries, but in Switzerland you will be close. So if some of the other countries with high incomes don't work for you, then Switzerland is probably the second best choice in terms of just high salaries for software engineers. Taxes are in most cases lower than pretty much everywhere in Europe. There are some exceptions, like Switzerland always gets this sort of perception of, oh, there's no taxes in Switzerland. That's definitely not true. It will not be the lowest taxes that you can get in Europe in every single scenario. Like in some scenarios, other countries might actually be better, like Romania and Bulgaria, for example. They sometimes offer you optimizations, but these are a bit special. So on average, your taxes will probably be lower in Switzerland than in pretty much everywhere in Europe. Keep in mind, though, it actually depends a bit on where you move in Switzerland. So for example, certain cities like Geneva have very high taxes, whereas other cities in the German-speaking part of Switzerland have lower taxes. So it does make a big difference. Savings potential is, of course, especially from an employee perspective, is really high because typically your purchasing power and your monthly savings rate will be just so much higher than practically everywhere else in Europe. If you're not a software engineer, the math might be very different, but as long as you're a software engineer, this is what applies. Everyday safety is really, really high in Switzerland, no doubt about that, and at least I think in 2026, it will also stay that way. So that's definitely a factor, especially if you have kids and family. Generally, while Switzerland is sometimes a bit slow and maybe not the most innovative country in every single aspect, like especially if you compare it to Asia, you will find that sometimes Asian countries or also American countries, like from north to south, they're sometimes a bit more progressive technology-wise and in terms of digitalization than Switzerland. But Switzerland is extremely predictable. So who should maybe actually look elsewhere and consider and really reconsider if Switzerland is the best country? If lifestyle and culture different to Switzerland's are a priority for you, then I would look elsewhere. Because Switzerland, it's a bit of a workaholic country. I wouldn't say that you necessarily have to work, all day and all night and all weekends in Switzerland. You can if you want to. There's no doubt about that. But it's not like you absolutely have to, especially as a software engineer. If you consider that many people only work like 80%, so like 4 days per week. For example, when they have kids for a couple of years, this is possible. But, it is still a sort of work-oriented culture where it's not geared for chilling and relaxing that much. Work is really important. You just have to be happy with that. You basically have to want to work hard and play hard. Then Switzerland is probably a good country for you. Otherwise, maybe you should look into other countries that are a bit more chill, where you will probably make less money, but It's going to be more relaxed. There's going to be less rules. It's not going to be as clean maybe as Switzerland, but it will be less stressful for you in other countries if you don't like to have too many rules. There's rules for, where to put the trash and where to put what type of trash and what day and time to put it out, and when you can make noises and when you cannot make noises and what you cannot do on Sundays and so on. Either you will say, okay, this is great, I actually like orderliness and everything, all the benefits that come with it, or you might also hate this. You have to decide for yourself. Just be warned, if you don't like that, then Switzerland might not be such a good country for you. Also, if you value spontaneity over structure, people just like to plan out things for a couple of days or weeks, occasionally months ahead, and it's not the same as in every country. So either you will say, okay, that's actually great, I love that, that makes things predictable, or you will say, oh, I hate that, I want to be a bit more spontaneous, then maybe look elsewhere. People sometimes joke, like after 5 to 10 years in Switzerland, it's finally time to make friends. There's something to it. It is a bit hard. It's not like in other countries, especially on the American continent, whether compared with North or South America, where you can go to a restaurant on like your first day or something, or night, and you can immediately meet some new people, make new friends. This isn't going to work in Switzerland. It's going to be harder. So if you're looking for that, and this is important to you, then maybe Switzerland is not the best country for you. Also, if you feel like, okay, Switzerland is maybe a great country otherwise, but it seems difficult to get the visa and to get into Switzerland, then you could also look at the neighboring countries, especially Germany and Austria. Because not only do they have the same language, German, but they actually are typically easier in terms of the visa. On the flip side, of course, you will make much less money. I mean, this is important to know. And in Germany and Austria, you will earn much less money for more or less the same work because your productivity is lower and the taxes are much higher. And under a certain viewpoint, Germany and Austria are by far not as efficient as Switzerland. If this video made you second guess your plan to move to Switzerland, that is exactly the right reaction. Remember, you can always book a call with me to get clarity. Because optimizing for the highest possible salary is useless if the daily pressure and the cultural rigidity make you miserable. Switzerland is a machine built for efficiency and wealth accumulation. If you fit that mold, you will thrive, no doubt about that. But if you realize today that you value spontaneity, a warmer social life, or just a bit more breathing room, you might need a different strategy. And that brings us to the often overlooked neighbor. In the next video, I will compare Switzerland directly with Austria. I will break down why Vienna often beats Zurich on livability, and why Austria might actually be the smarter strategic move for you individually, especially if you want the stability of the German-speaking world without the pressure and efficiency obsession of the Swiss system. If you want to see if the Austrian trade-off makes more sense for your lifestyle than the Swiss grind, watch the next video right now.